Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, you are too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God.
Welcome once again to Street Talk. Today, Ahmad is unable to be here, so I'm sitting in for him. I'm Paget, and this is
Charles Thomas.
All right. Now, today on Street Talk, we have a few things we want to cover. As you know, we do it local, national, international. Anything that means anything, we're willing to talk about it. All right, so today we're going to start out with, first of all, give you an update on the program from last Saturday and tell you something about the upcoming program on Malcolm X Day. So, Charles, why don't you update the folks?
Yeah, this past Saturday we had a very successful meeting at Shabazz Academy. The Unity Project group of Lansing is always sponsored on the fourth Saturday of the month. We always get together as men to talk about issues that we normally don't talk about that pertains to the community.
Right.
And the things that's holding us back from the community and the things that we need to air out about the community. This past Saturday, we had a discussion on Out of Darkness. We watched the DVD segments, and then we got a question and answer period.
Okay.
We had a nice response from the group that was there. It was about 35 of us this time.
Okay.
And it's getting consistently,
coming up.
And the exciting part is it's all men.
All right.
And the issues that we talk about in the community is very important, but we'd like to have more involvement.
Right.
And in June, we got Malcolm X Day that's coming up. And we're looking for a good turnout there. Also, it's going to be an outside affair. We got free hot dogs, and we got vendors coming in, African-American vendors.
Okay.
We're trying to support them. And if someone out there in Radio Land is like to participate as a vendor, there's a fee that we charge to set up your booth and to sell your wares.
Right.
But it's important that we recognize Malcolm. He was world renowned, and he was from our community. He was educated in the Lansing area. His family and his father was in the Marcus Garvey movement.
Oh.
And he was murdered here. Well, they said it was an accident. He died here. And then Malcolm went on to become, an international leader.
Right.
And I had the opportunity, when I was in the Nation of Islam, to befriend his brother, Filbert. And they were all very intelligent people and very open and easy to talk to as a people. So it's at Shabazz Academy,
Right.
June the 24th.
All right.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, man, I didn't know Malcolm personally, but he's one to admire.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I think if it hadn't been for Malcolm X, I think the Nation of Islam would not have excelled to the level that it excelled to, because Malcolm was the one that was feeding the nation and recruiting.
Okay.
And he did an excellent and superb job. But what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught him fed his knowledge, and so that he was able to regurgitate that to African American people. And he did a fabulous job at that.
What do you think about Malcolm as a leader? There are those who believe that he would have been the next leader of the nation.
Yeah.
But some jealousies or whatever have cut it short. He never made it.
Yeah.
Do you think he would have been a good leader for the
Yeah.
group?
I think he would have been a good leader for the group, but then, I think he went above protocol. After he came back from
He went on the
on the Hajj.
the Hajj.
Yeah, he's seen a different side of Islam where he was not exposed to
Right.
in the nation. So his eyes were open. He's seen Caucasians, he's seen Asians, white guys, and all forms.
So it was not just blacks,
right?
as
it was
seemed
told to
to have
him.
been here.
Right. Yeah. So that was the eye opener for him, and that's what he brought back.
Good.
So he was going to take it. It would have been a split. I think he was before Elijah gave him that permission. Eventually, he would have been exposed to that, but he found out on his own.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah.
What do you think of Farrakhan?
Farrakhan is another student of Elijah Muhammad, and they were all brilliant men. Muhammad Ali, they were all international people. So whatever the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught them, they built on it from where they were in life, and they excelled with it.
Would you say they were sort of spokespersons for him?
Right.
Because you didn't hear of him as much as you hear of Malcolm.
Right.
Or Farrakhan.
Right. But before they were Muslims, they were just drifting in life. And then when they met the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he named
Cassius Clay.
Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, Yeah, Boombaye Muhammad. Yeah.
Yes.
And he met Malcolm in the prison, and his son, Wafdi Muhammad.
Okay.
Yeah, he's world renowned too. He was teaching the Pope, and he was teaching the Catholics about the nation of Islam and Islam. Yeah.
And many of us Christian folks dismiss them. Now, would somebody of the Islamic faith dismiss everybody else just because they're not of that faith?
No. Quite the contrary. We all got along, and that's one of the things the prophets taught on. He said, let Christians be Christians. They coexisted back in the Renaissance, when Islam was coming out of darkness and spreading, they coexisted.
Matter of fact, there was a time when Islam, Judaism, and Christianity were buddies. In fact, they were all together known as the people of the book.
Yeah.
And somewhere, you see, and this is what happens in life. Whichever religion you want, denomination you want to call, you're going to find somebody comes with some radical behavior and teaching. And that now tarnishes the entire group. All Muslims, I shouldn't use
Fanatic,
Muslim, because the word Muslim, when they think it was supposed to be derogatory.
Yeah, it's not derogatory. Muslim means a righteous person.
Yeah, but when they use the term to Islamic people, it was intended to be derogatory.
Yeah.
Just like Christianity.
Right.
Christians.
And the N word.
They were a thing. And the N, right.
Yeah.
But I've known a few families, genuine Muslims, genuine Islamic people, and they're sweet, sweet people.
Yeah.
I mean, I love them.
Yeah.
I know they love me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a put on.
No.
No. So, do I say, oh, you are from over there, therefore I can't have anything to do with you because you don't believe like I do?
Right.
how would I ever get you to believe like me if I don't talk to you?
Yeah, yeah. That's the human side of it. You know, the word, if you read it, I mean, it talks about harmony, and God is harmony. Jesus was love. But if you're not following Jesus, then you're following somebody else, because Jesus said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." He loved everybody, and so if you can't love everybody, then I don't know who you're following, but you're not following Christ.
Okay.
And in the Bible, in the Quran, they all talk about Abraham. They talk about Noah. They talk about Jesus. They're all in there, you know, in the Christian books and in the Torah.
And there's a lot in the Bible that you'll find in the Quran.
Yeah.
We
Abraham.
have more in common than people might think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But when we look at things as religion, religion to me makes you focus on the physical side of life. But the Word of God wants you to focus on the spiritual side of life.
Now, the spiritual, the connection with God is now going to lead you
Right.
into a relationship with your fellow man.
Right.
So it has to start me and God.
Yeah, yeah.
And then because of this now, I understand how to relate across
yeah.
to my fellow man.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Right. Right.
Love thy neighbor as thyself.
Right.
The first is to love God.
God.
Second, love your neighbor.
Right.
So if I can't love God, how could I love my neighbor?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. And then too,
But then,
Yeah,
hold
go
on.
ahead.
When you take the other side of that, how could I love my neighbor and not love God?
yeah. And then too, you have to love yourself first.
Self-love?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And that's what I see in the black community, because, you know, if you look at the black community and how dysfunctional it is, it's, to me, it's a thing of low self-esteem.
That reminds me of your book, man, Self-Hate.
Yeah, self-hate. So when you don't love yourself, you know, like if you're playing sports, and if I was coaching somebody, I would have to get my team to work together, to respect one another. Everybody got certain talents. So, and when I took you to play another team, if you dysfunctional, if you don't love yourself, or if you don't think that you can win, or if you haven't been taught that you can win, if you got low self-esteem, you're not going to win a game. You got to be into yourself spiritually and believe in yourself in order to be a champion.
When it was February, they had the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What was the score?
Yeah.
Down to the wires.
Yeah. Overtime.
And then guess what? All of a sudden, I mean, here is a team down by what, 25 points?
Yeah, and come back.
Come back and win?
Right. Yeah.
And you didn't even move one bit from where you were?
One bit, yeah. Yeah.
They had to have somebody say something to them in that locker room to remind
Remind
them,
them.
hey, you are
A
winners.
champion. Yeah, you win.
You are the champions.
Right.
You go out there and play like champions. In life,
Yeah.
we have to have that same
Yeah,
belief.
and you got to believe in yourself.
You see, when I played sports, I never believe I'm going to lose until the game is over.
Right. Yeah, and play
So-
it to the end.
All the
Yeah.
way through. We
Yeah.
never give up. I never believe in giving up. And I'm not going to give up in life either.
Yeah. And that's what I see the lack of in the African American community, because our leaders, our religious leaders, teach us to worship the image of another man, and you don't want to beat the boss.
But not only that, when you come to think about it, realistically, too many of our Christian believers are more interested in worshiping the preacher than God.
Right.
And it's by design.
Yeah.
Because when I could control you like that,
Yeah.
I get to do whatever I want.
Yeah. You're my slave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a big problem. And I know some folks may not agree with what we say here on this, but if you have a question about it, feel free to contact us.
Right.
Because I'll be happy to go in more depth with that, and for anybody's
Right.
sake.
Right.
There's much we can talk about that.
Yeah. And like, if you don't bring it up, then you can say that you should have told me, but we telling them.
We're telling you now.
Yeah.
So you may not agree,
Right.
but hey,
You've been told. You've
we're
been
not
warned.
going to go in a hostile way, but just say, hey, Paget, Charles, I don't agree with what you said, and here's the reason why. And you show us your point. You might convince us, anybody.
Yeah.
So,
and these are kind of discussions that we have at Shabazz Academy.
good.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Talk about something else.
Yeah.
Politics.
Oh.
I know we have to talk politics.
Yeah. And that's the most noisiest thing. That's the most dysfunctional.
Well, how could we exist without politics, man? Politics is around us. We're involved in it.
Yeah.
We got to talk about it. Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the budget.
Yeah.
It's
a dire strait.
The governor has his own thing that he wants done in this budget.
Yeah.
The legislature is holding out and cutting out some of his stuff because they want to preserve some money for their pet peeves.
Yeah.
Now, we're seeing monies taken from this, from that, to put to something else that is not really going to benefit the whole community, the whole state. I know politicians are bent to reach out to the few.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry with what they say. Just look at what they do.
Yeah.
Now, what could we say to our politicians to help them to see, like they have, almost 40 schools they have listed as failing schools.
Mm-hmm.
A whole host of them in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
They're planning to close these schools.
Yeah.
Now, Charles, you're no fool. You went to school.
Mm-hmm.
So did I.
Yeah.
And most of us.
Yeah.
But if you're going to tell me this is a failing school, why is the school failing, number one?
Yeah.
What does it need to prevent it from failing? Who is to supply that need? Are they supplying the need? And to what extent?
Right.
Did the governor and his people sit down and look at questions like that?
No.
Oh, we set up a standard. If you don't have so many people passing at this level, then you are failing school.
Yeah.
What is the background of these kids in school? Let me tell you, man. You got kids from all over the place, all kind of socio-economic background.
Right.
Therefore, you're going to have diversity.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, when you take all of the richer, smarter people and they move out one side,
right,
and you have all of the poor, low socioeconomic sitting here, they don't have the tax base to support the school, which means they're not going to have some of the equipment they need.
Mm-hmm.
You have teachers in many cases, in many schools, they just go in, they just show up.
Yeah.
But then there are those who, they really put themselves into it, spend their own money to help the kids.
Right.
Where's the government?
Yeah. The government is on a hiatus.
Probably so.
They're taking
a long-term one.
Yeah. All they care about is the election and playing the game of politics. They like to blame other people instead of taking responsibility. It's not the children's fault. The children want to learn. Mm-hmm. But the way that it's structured, when you got a teacher and the teacher lives, the teachers in Lansing, and they live out in Charlotte and all the surrounding area, they don't have no value interest in the inner city children. They live in the further out they move, the less they have to pay taxes. Even the police department, they should stay within that district where the action is, where they're working at.
I talked about that at City Hall in a meeting one time. Now, all the higher paying jobs, the people live outside.
Outside, yeah.
So where's your tax base?
Outside.
I'm paying taxes for projects that I don't even benefit from.
Yeah.
I don't have anybody in school, but I pay school tax.
Taxes, yeah.
I pay Spectran, E-Tran tax.
Yeah.
I don't use them.
Right.
So some of us are actually supporting keeping these things afloat, but we have nothing in it.
No vested.
Those who are in any way benefiting from it, they don't even live here to help the taxpayers.
Right. No.
So
No.
maybe we need to get our government on the ball, pull them on the carpet, and
Yeah.
tell them, hey,
Yeah. Make them move in the inner city. You know.
come on in. There is a program that was going on here in town, and it was supposed to focus on this minority group. But when you look at it, nobody on the board was from that community.
Right.
Everybody else come from outside.
Yeah. And that's a problem.
How are you going to know exactly
Yeah.
what's going on
Yeah.
here?
You have no interest.
If you're not here.
Yeah. You have no interest in it.
A lot of people on boards because
Right.
it looks good on the resume.
Right. That's why, all these black men getting beat in the head by these cops that don't care anything about them because they're detached. So when a cop comes to Charlotte and go on patrol in the black community and they see a black person out of line, they're ready to attack him because they've been trained to do that. They don't like to negotiate. They want to get the job done and, let's get that attitude.
Some
Bad
years
attitude.
ago here in Lansing, they thought about community policing. And they thought it was a big thing at the moment. I had to tell them, hey, I'm from a little island, but we do that all the time.
Yeah.
I've never known us without it.
Right, yeah.
And
you knew you knew the constables.
the police officers, they hang out with you.
Right.
They play games with you.
The families.
We're buddies.
Yeah.
But yet if you get out the line, they're gonna straighten you.
Right, but they respect you, and you respect
You
each other.
respect them,
Yeah.
they respect you.
Yeah.
You'll still have the few, who are gonna fight and make mischief, but by and large, you still get that kind of respect.
Yeah.
Even when that police is transferred elsewhere, you meet him, you still show respect.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
that kind of thing is
and
important.
it even goes as high as judges. Judges
yeah.
should be in the community too.
They don't know anything what's going on here,
Yeah.
and they just make a lot of assumptions.
Right. And that's another issue that I have too, as far as the black churches in our community, and how they don't even realize how the devastation that they cause in the community. Trillions of dollars go through the black churches every year, and that's like siphoning siphoning money out of the community, and then they ride through the community, and they don't understand why the poverty level and the crime level is so high is because they stealing from the people.
There is a reason for that. When you look at, I know that somebody might attack me for it because I'm into Christianity, I'm into ministry, I don't care.
Yeah, I understand.
I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
The truth is, too many of us, we are there not for the good of the people, but for the goods of the people.
Yeah.
What they could get.
Yeah, yeah. And Jesus wasn't like that.
That wasn't Jesus' plan.
I mean, to me, they're being hypocritical.
Yeah.
Preaching
one thing, practicing the next.
No, they're supposed to protect you.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to throw you under the bus.
Charles, if I come out here and you are sitting here starving, and I can help you and don't help you, how much is my Christianity?
Right. Yeah.
Don't forget in the Bible it talked the story about this guy went on this journey and he was beaten up.
Yeah, the Good Samaritan.
Yeah. The priests, the Levite.
Right.
I mean the Christian people, the church leaders.
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing to do with
right,
this, man.
Cross the street.
Let me stay. But then, the very one who, by all means, shouldn't have anything to do with it.
Right. He took time with it.
He stopped and looked after him.
Yeah.
The question, who is my neighbor?
Yeah.
Those in need of your help.
Help.
It's not just the one next door to you.
Yeah.
Anybody who is in need of your help, that's your neighbor.
That's right. Yeah. And if they can't work together, how do they expect the community to work together?
Let's look a little bit more into budgeting.
Yeah, go back to budget.
Coming up, national.
Mm-hmm.
This Saturday, the government could shut down if Congress doesn't come up with a plan to fund the government.
Mm-hmm.
We have seen it a few years ago when Obama was in office. The Republicans did a number and we had a shutdown.
Yeah.
I can't forget Ted Cruz up there chatting all kind of foolishness about green eggs and all kind. I mean, what that had to do with anything in the country?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
If I'm putting you there to look after my interests and take it, and we are paying you to look after the country, and you don't care if it shuts down. We don't care. Just because that person is in the White House?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay. In Trump's proposal right now,
Okay.
he wants to get rid of Obamacare. We know that. He campaigned on that.
Desperately.
What is the purpose of that? Couple of things. They want that money from Obamacare to siphon into tax cuts for the wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
You are not going to benefit from his tax cut.
Right.
I am not going to.
Right.
Period.
Not on our level.
No.
No.
The 1%, they're going to get 99% of whatever
That's right.
comes out. The next 9% might get the 1%.
Yeah. We get the crumbs that fall from the
If
table.
any.
Yeah.
If any.
Yeah, yeah. And then we're fighting over that.
Reagan came with the trickle-down economics. It didn't work.
Mm-mm.
And Trump coming with the same foolishness. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
So they want to give tax cut to the wealthy. They want to get rid of Obamacare so they could get some money freed up for that. The next thing he wants to do is pushing for the wall. Gonna build this wall to block out, shut out the Mexicans.
Mm-hmm.
He said that Mexico will pay for it, but now he wants the money from Obamacare. He wants Congress to appropriate funds for this wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that America is legitimately a corporate status.
Okay.
And only the rich. I mean, when Donald got in there, he said that he's going to fight for the forgotten. Because everybody been beating up on the rich man, trying to make him, Obama was trying to make him pay taxes and all that. So Donald Trump said that I'm going to help out the forgotten people. And the forgotten people was the millionaires and billionaires. So, and he's doing that. Because I remember the Indians in the Dakotas, when they was fighting over that pipeline. And he went in, Donald Trump went in and said, you know, stop it. Let them run that pipeline through that Indian land.
And you know what? I don't think that... Look, man, Canada has refineries.
Yeah.
Why can't they refine it up there?
Right.
You're going to run this tar sand oil all the way from Canada down to Texas.
Right. An environment issue, all that.
Coming underwater, what we're going to have to drink?
Yeah. I mean, they still paying for that oil spill in the Gulf, you know?
So,
It's all about greed.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to?
Don't let anybody make you think that God chose America as his divine, messianic force to be a sort of policeman of the whole world. God has a way of standing before the nations with judgment, and it seems that I can hear God saying to America, you're too arrogant. If you don't change your ways, I will rise up and break the backbone of your power, and I'll place it in the hands of a nation that doesn't even know my name. Be still and know that I'm God.